Hello, everyone. We're going to wait a couple minutes to let everyone pile on in, and then we're going to get started. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Give it just a couple more, 30 seconds. All right. I think this is going to have to be good enough. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar today. My name is Rob Davidson, and we are going to be diving into everything Church360 Unite. A little bit of housekeeping here at the front end. We're going to be splitting up today's webinar in kind of three distinct sections. We're going to have a presentation to start. Then we're going to go through kind of a demonstration, diving into all things Unite, what it looks like, how to use it, and from there we will be looking at doing some Q&A. I want to make this time as valuable as humanly possible for all of you. So I'm going to get started on some quick little pieces in the beginning in the presentation. I won't be able to look at questions during that time, but effectively, I want to make sure that any questions that you do have that we do get time for. So if you want to start throwing any questions you have in, I will be able to start kind of to them as I go through the demonstration part of our presentation today. And please forgive me, we've had a couple technical difficulties today, so timeout stuff, I'm just going to kind of power through and make sure that everything works. Let me know. And with that, I am going to set my screen. Okay, hopefully everyone can see me. And actually, let's do this. Stop share screen application. There we go. Present. Okay. All right. Well, let's dive in. So, a couple of key people in the beginning. One, if you're not familiar, the team here at Concordia Technology Solutions, we are made up of pastors, of coders, developers, and business professionals, all looking to provide you the best software that we possibly can to help you serve your church better. Like I said, my name is Rob Davidson. I'm today's host, and I've been with CTS for going on 3 years, 2.5 to 3. And most of all, I like saying this with every webinar that we try our hardest to make solutions that are incredibly effective in helping you support your ministry. But at the end of the day, like every church is unique, and you need to put, and I'm sure you will, your needs and your church's needs above anything else. And so all I am going to set out to do today is to give you as much information as humanly possible so that you can make a truly educated decision. And if that's with us, that's fantastic. And I hope today gives you a little bit of taste of everything we have to offer. Speaking of incredible resources, our team of software consultants have years of experience working with thousands of churches, and we are ready to really kind of dive into the specific details of what your church needs out of one of these solutions. So if you're wanting a lot of one-on-one help, we'd be more than happy to set up a demo, whether or not that's with you and your pastor, you and your church admin, or even the council. We've done kind of large group dedicated demos for specific churches. So whatever you need, please feel free to reach out and we'll get you connected to the right person. So with all of that being said, what are we talking about today? We are talking about Church360 Unite. It is a website builder specifically built for administrators, communicators, volunteers, because we believe in supporting your ministry with tech. Is an incredible resource that churches really find valuable. And so we're going to check out a couple of those today. At its core, Church360 Unite is a communication hub. We have the online directory. Congregants can update their contact information and information on that directory so that your church office doesn't have to. There are tools to send texts and emails from your website. There are discussion groups and forums to create opportunities for engagement within small groups and other teams that you have active in your church. And above all, we pride ourselves on making a website product that is incredibly easy to use. You do not need to know how to code HTML. You do not have to have extensive website building experience in order to utilize Unite. It is truly something that you can get up and running in about an hour or two. So, with all that being said, I hope you can start to see that this is a software that is built for churches, making it easy, and it's focused on supporting your ministry. So, what jumping into Unite, I said the term, it's a communication hub, and I think it's important to walk that out before I do the demo portion of this, just so that we're all kind of using the same language. So your website is a great place for visitors to discover your church. If you don't have a website and people are searching your church name, it's going to make it hard for them to learn more about your church and make the decision of whether or not they're going to come visit in person. Your church website is a place to provide both visitors and existing congregants value, provide them resources like sermon recordings, announcements, opportunities to be in community with one another. And you need a way to invite them back, whether that's through dedicated landing pages for events, through outbound messages like texts and emails, through discussion groups. A website that does not reach out to people is less valuable than one that does. So I like to kind of go through kind of a map of, if someone is kind of looking for a new church home, how would they discover you through Unite? And so starting off is like, hey, they're searching online, they're Googling, and they discover your church website. They then fill out a contact form when they visit your church. And then you put them into your church management software that would then sync with Unite or into Unite itself, and you can then send them an email inviting them to join the church and get involved. They do so, and they're invited. They encounter your resources. They learn more about your church, about the things that where they can get involved, and then you help them get intertwined and connected From there, they're joining those small groups and volunteering for ministries. And then, through those, they're on discussion boards, talking with other congregants and effectively, doing what the church is all about, which is worshiping and serving together. So we're going to go through different pieces in our demonstration now that kind of show you those different aspects of what that could look like for your church. So now that we are switching over, I'm just going to switch the share to, we can see the website. Great. And from there, I'm going to pull up, we got some questions. Peter, thanks for letting me know my camera's not on. Sometimes it turned with that bad connection. I think it shut off. Hopefully everyone was still able to see the screen. Sorry everyone for the technical difficulties here. That is not awesome, but let's move forward. Thanks everyone for calling that out. Okay, so this is an example of a web page that was built with Unite. So you can see here that we have a really straightforward design. We kind of have that hero image banner welcoming people to the church, and we have different sections built to things that people may need. I think some of this is warped a little bit because of my screen size. And then we got some calendar kind of stream of what is going on in the church. So one of the things that are really worth mentioning is, this is kind of the outward facing website, and there's going to be things that people who don't have a login won't be able to see, because we give you the ability to create pages that are only viewable if you are logged in. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to log in here, and while that loads, I'm going to check questions. Good, cool. So now I'm in. And so I'm going to be jumping out back and forth from the login section once we get a little bit deeper. But let's go ahead. And so you're going to see here, and you're going to see this top navigation that's now appeared, right? This is kind of the edit navigation bar kind of thing. And then this is the edit page. So if I'm going to edit the page, I would click this open, and then that starts to bring up the tools in which I would edit this web page. And I can kind of click in and then edit with the kind of a rich text editor, what have you. I could add more cells and more content. This is a calendar template. And then now that we've seen that, like the heart of Unite kind of happens once we venture into these navigations. So let's jump settings first, the least fun part first. You have a section to add your church's contact information for it to be displayed on your site. You can create calendars. They can also be synced from Church360 members. You can add your own custom domain, connect Google Analytics, integrate with Shepherd staff. Otherwise, it would be done automatically if it was Church360 members, whichever church management software you use. You can add your social links, and you can kind of edit your opt-in message for inviting people to receive text messages from you. From there, themes is going to be kind of the big design aspect, this section of your site. So you're going to see here that we have a number of default themes. So if I'm going to go ahead and pull one up, and then let's do this kind of blue one because we got a lot of blue elements in the site, and I'm going to hit apply. Okay, your theme has been changed. We see at the top here, so I exit out, and all of a sudden we have a very different website, just that quick. As someone who builds a lot of websites, I never see anything that fast when it comes to switching out the design of your site. If I want to jump back into something else, I can easily do that, or change the color within that theme or jump to a different version. It's really easy to do. And a lot of times churches change their design not because of their brand, but because of the theme of the year. So maybe this is more of an Easter theme, a Lenten theme, and then it makes sense to switch to something else for the typical season or for Christmas, right? Diving deeper into this theme section of the website, the web builder, is you also have styles. So styles are going to overview your text, your fonts that you're using throughout the site. Heavy use of fonts, we kind of have a gauge here, could slow down your site a little bit, and so we kind of give you an easy to read gauge of how much is being pulled on your site based off of the differences that you have throughout. This is a fine area to be. If you want a crazy fast site, you can go deeper, but I think this is a fine Goldilocks zone to kind of balance a unique design without any negative real impact. But you can kind of see here that we can kind of dive in and then pick, hey, what's the font family, what font style, italic, bold. We have some sample text up here so you can see, change the color, what have you. And changing these settings would change it all the way through the site wherever the heading 1 setting is selected. We also have a lot of customization settings when it comes to color. We can change the background, the footer, change the image for the banner, right? Again, we want to make this easy, and I don't think we've hit anything that's just like, oh, I need a PhD in computer science in order to do. We do have the ability for you to jump into the site and code with HTML if you so want, but it's never required. So we want to give people the ability to kind of open up the hood if they have those skills, but overall we want to make sure that Unite is accessible from anyone with any kind of design background. And edit here. This is a theme. Okay, so this is, if you had your own theme, you could edit the theme design a little bit more deeper, but since it's one of the default themes, we don't have that option. Okay, so then users, so this is pulling everyone from that we've either put into the software manually or that's pulling directly from the Sync Church360 members church management software. So you can see if you've been with us on our webinar today, we use Dave Abbott because he's always at the top of the list, or George here, we use them a lot. And so you can see that they exist here too, easily automatically synced into this software, right, into Unite. You can see it's pulled his email, and he has different roles depending on what software we're in. And so Unite, we can then change his role, do this, and then identify him as a user, a publisher, designer, or administrator. You can see this is a really simplified, easy to use, role system. Most of the time, people just need to be designated as a user. And so I think this is a good time to kind of jump over. I'll come back. So mailing lists, communication, this is just creating dedicated lists for you to reach out to. This one takes a while to load. Here we go. So this kind of just shows different communications and groups that people are a part of, what can be sent out. Activity, this is your event log. This shows everything that's happened within the software. Email log shows you a list of emails that have come out from the software. And again, this takes sometimes a little bit of load. So sometimes the refresh is not great on this one. Sometimes takes a second. So while I'm waiting for that to load, Marcia asked, if members have problems with their browser settings not being able to pull up their page, will support be able to help at no extra charge? Totally. If you have one of these subscriptions, our support team is always available to help, no extra charge. Text opt-in, this came up, so we only have one person opted in for text. That's one of our software consultants, Grant. And then we have comments. So these are different discussion groups with kind of who's been talking on each one. Obviously, being a demo account, we don't have a ton of activity, but you can kind of see here, this would be where you access it. Posts are kind of a collection of kind of feeds in a way. So we have specific posts that are kind of just in general, and it goes into the sermon feed. We have prayer request feeds. Again, like these don't, like you can create these to however you need. News and announcements. If the pastor has a blog, you can kind of create these posts. And each one then links to a dedicated page. So really, really easy to use. So when I was talking before about users and going through that, like I think the natural connection is the directory. And so you can see here I mentioned about those private pages. And so I wanted to just kind of get through to this point to show, hey, these are the sections that when you see this red little section here, we are in the navigation edit view. And so we can see everything here. This is active on this left side, and all of the saved templates and drafts are here on the right side. And so I can see here that we have boards that are private. So I am a member of the church and I have a login now to Unite. It might just be user access, but then that shows what my level is, and then I can kind of start to see these private pages. The connect the directory here, right, is a great example of this. So if I get out of this section and I jump into the menu and then I go to connect and I go to members section, I can then see this entire directory. So we talked before in the members webinar about creating a QR code that's linked to the landing page that people can go in and edit their contact information themselves. This would be the link to do that with. So if I was the Abbott family and I was logged in at them, I could click in here and update this information myself. I'm an admin, so I can edit the household, right? But otherwise, this is for them to manage. So then jumping out of this, so you can kind of see from this main view, there we go. This is this whole list, and we can see it in this connect part of the navigation and here. All right, let's see what happens when I sign out. It's a demo account, so it always yells at me. Okay, there we go. That is not an issue you will encounter. That's just super fun demo accounts. So here, now we're in this navigation section that I was just in. And you can see that this member section is not there, right? So that's a huge benefit when it comes to creating that connection. It's like, that's all private. Someone who is just visiting your site, checking out, they will not see anything, any information. All of that is behind this very secure login environment. And see if it's super easy for me to log back in. Oh, and I was on this web page and it was hidden before, and now I'm back, right? Because I've logged in. Marcia asks, can it update Shepherd Staff membership if we are adding Unite to Shepherd Staff? I believe so. In Shepherd Staff, if you look across your top bar, you can see a Unite sync button. This is the connection that back and forth sync would impact. Our team of software consultants and techs can help you with that more. But that, I believe that is the channel in which that information goes back and forth, Marcia. So perfect. Cool. You've seen that. Awesome. Okay. So again, I think you're getting the taste. That's like, this is crazy easy. This is not complex. This is, I think, members and ledger, this is advanced software. Like it's powerful, right? We want to make Unite easy. Let's get the web page up. Let's make some powerful content there, but let's not overcomplicate it. With what's it called? To see here, some of the things that also could be worth mentioning is that we have some page templates that help you very quickly, add pages to your website. So if I was going to click add page here, it would then take me to this prompt and ask me what kind of page do I want to create. And so we have a feed page, a group page, or a blank page. But it also has these other ones that have pre-populated content that shows, and creates prompts for someone building your website. Hey, this is some content that could be on it. Mission and vision, our staff, fellowship page, membership page, news and announcements. These are all very common pages, and so we've kind of self-generated these pages to help you get a running start into building your church website. I have a question here. What level of pricing do we need to live stream services to our website? If you're streaming from like YouTube and you're just hosting the embed on your website, there is no different plan tier that would influence that. So you'd totally be able to do that, Larry, no matter your tier. Going forward, I think the last thing to really show that I really love to show off when we're doing these webinars is the groups community. And if I can find a page here that is kind of dedicated to, here we go. This is what I was looking for. That has some activity on it. So these group pages are really, really neat. So one, you can kind of see they're formatted differently than a typical page. You can see these links that are editable and changeable up and down the right side here. You can have core content in the middle. This is the resource hubs that we were talking about. You're creating a location for in this case, the 20s to 30 small groups to connect together. And then one of the things to do is like, I can see the members that are all belonging in this group, and then I can go to the discussion section. And this is something that church websites really don't include anymore. If like Shopify does not have this in there, Wix does not have this. This is more complicated stuff that has kind of fallen out of favor in a lot of areas, but is still very valuable to a church. So I can go ahead and write a discussion comment, mark it, and then post it, and people can kind of see the activities. And then it's labeled as a prayer request or a discussion or an announcement. And you can see who's engaging on your site. And so you can have these conversations that are specifically focused on whatever ministry or group you're in. If that's saying, hey, tonight we're going in our Bible study on John, and we're going to be going through John 4. Make sure you do your reading. Or you have an online only small group, right? And this could be a way where people are communicating with each other asynchronously, that is built into the subject matter of the small group. You can host documents in here and resources that they can grab based on the need. So I hope this gives you all a taste of everything Unite has to offer. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wrap with a big thank you and and I need to edit this. This says members, but Unite also has a free trial, 30 days for you to be able to use the software and get a feel. And because it's so easy to use, you can get your church website up in 2. And so it's a great way for you to be able to kind of test if this makes sense for you and if your church is really going to be able to use it. I just had a conversation with a church last week, and they were debating whether or not, what do they do? They need a church website, and they are looking for someone to do it. And the issue that they have is they're concerned about whether or not a designer will always be around if they ever want to make changes. And that's why we believe in kind of arming churches, their admin teams, to be able to do this themselves, because people who work in the church, that information can be shared, versus if someone builds you a custom site and then disappears, you lose the ability to edit your site. And that's a real problem for a church. So I hope this has been valuable. I'm going to jump into just answering any questions that are left. And if you're watching this recorded, or we're wrapping up and you want to kind of dive deeper, please reach out to the software consultants with the numbers here, and we can kind of help you navigate what Unite looks like for your church. So with all that being said, we got some extra time here for questions. And as I expected, third webinar down, I am starting to get hoarse. So, but I am going to be here for any questions you have. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us, and have a blessed rest of your day. All right. All right. Our church chose the Behemoth Planning Center. Is there a document that compares each of the features of Unite versus it's the publishing section of Planning Center, the features and modules of Planning Center? We don't specifically because a lot of the times Planning Center is focused on a different customer. Um, as you're referencing, it's a Behemoth. They're really built for large churches, and we're built for small to mid-sized churches. And so we really don't even look at Planning Center as a competitor. We're building features that compete with them in a lot of ways, but we don't look at them as a competitor because, you know, if anyone goes to the pricing page to Planning Center, it is so easy with their features, their like components, each one to be charged hundreds of dollars each month. Like literally what you would pay in a month for Planning Center, you would pay in a year for Church Unite, if not a lot of 360. So that we don't have a 1-to-1 ratio, but maybe we can start working on that if there's a real need for that, Jane. Um, I would definitely say if you were a Shepherd staff person, Church360 is the web-based solution for you. But again, every church is different. Uh, we have Shepherd staff and use Weebly. We load audio sermons. Could you show me how to load a weekly audio sermon? I can kind of show you, Marcia. I don't have an audio file to be able to load, but I can kind of show you where to do that. So if I was in this section here, you can hopefully still see my shared screen. Um, yeah, yeah, no, this is good. So you can kind of see the post section. I can then add a post. No, let's make draft. Where do I go to add one? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm blanking out. How do I do that? I do it here. I am so sorry. I guess 3 webinars in, I start to miss things. Yeah, I feel like it'd be here. And then how do I add one? Okay, so let's just use this. So this is one of the posts for what's it called? The Celebrate Salvation. This goes into the sermon feed. Um, so all you would do is in this, you would add a section for the embed for the audio file. Um, so it is relatively straightforward. I'm sorry I'm blanking on it. I had a really strong members demo, and then from there, I'm just fading. So yeah, so there's totally a way to do it, Marcia. Please talk to our software consultants, but it would be within the specific post. Um, this is the sermon feed. So then you would edit that and you would add it in there. So that's really easy to do if you're not me. Can I create a page that has the calendar on it with other information? Currently, I have a page for only the calendar, but would like to add pictures and info for upcoming events. I believe you can. So like looking at the homepage as an example. So we have, so this is kind of like the calendar page, but you can kind of do both with this calendar section. That is then pulling that information. And so I think that's how we would do it. Because this is showing that information, I think, from the calendar, just in a way that kind of fits on the page. And then you can add this other information above and below it. So totally doable. Okay, awesome. All right. Any other questions? Peter, thank you. Thank you for dealing with me today. I'm sorry I couldn't answer all your questions. But whether you got Dave or Calvin or whoever, I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. Thanks so much for attending today, Peter. Really appreciate your engagement. Mm. Nothing like coffee at 1:30. All right, I'm going to stay on the line a little bit longer. If we get any questions, I'll jump on them. Otherwise, I will wrap us up in a second. All right, it's looking like it. So, thank you everyone for being here today. I'm going to wrap us up. Have a blessed rest of your day. Goodbye.